Hello everybody, Daniel here, and today I've got a bit of a tutorial which is a bit different to what I'd usually do, and it's also on the topic of PokeSav, so a lot of people will probably be a bit confused because I've always had a reputation for not using it, and I'll explain more about that at the end. Now, apparently a lot of people with black and white have had the problem of when they've tried to use action replay based PokeSav, they've got a blue screen on the bottom and a black screen on the top saying something along the lines of "an error has occurred, please turn off the power." I too suffered this problem. I was having a look around, see which things worked, which didn't, and I changed a variety of things, and I've now found a combination that seems to work. So I thought maybe I'll share it with the community just in case they're having the same problems I was. Now, the first thing you need to do is download the PokeSav. Now, I could only find one version that worked properly with this method, but I couldn't remember the link, so I had to re-upload it on my own computer. Obviously I do not take any I didn't make it in any way. The credit needs to go to those three individuals and not myself. There is the link, by the way. I will also put that in the description so you don't have to have eagle eyes when trying to look at this. Well, yeah, we'll go to the link and I'll go through it by step. Hopefully with the internet working, all should be well. Now obviously with Maker Upload, if you're a free user, you've got to wait briefly before you can download it. This is not a problem, and in a Delia Smith-esque method I'll show you what you get from there. After you've installed it, assuming you're not an idiot, you'll end up with a screen like this. Now, I'm not going to have to go through, I presume, 18,000 different explanations about how to actually PokeSav a Pokemon, because odds are you'll know by now, but for sake of argument I'll go over it quickly. I think I called it blah. I would advise making more specific and understanding names for teams like that. Just to quickly show you, if we go to edit on random Pokemon, obviously ignore the typo, obviously it's blatantly obvious what it is. You put your Pokemon in, your item, your trainer ID, they're all very obvious things. Your secret ID you can get off an action replay code. I think Code Junkies will presumably give you the secret ID'd AR code if you need to do it. Obviously a lot of this is self-explanatory. Personal ID, just generate it, make sure this is right. When in doubt, you can go for class 2, tends to be the common sense method, but what that means is that some Pokemon have 2 abilities, and when it levels up those abilities change. That's what it refers to. Obviously gender, shiny, IVs, EVs, you can ignore contest stats. Once you've put all the statistical data in, make sure you go to stats edit, click all max to make sure it looks statistically legit. Obviously Pokeball, with assuming it's come from the daycare couple, which I would recommend usually is the best solution. Ability, make sure you give it an ability it actually can get, otherwise you're just going to look like a bit of a tit. Normally I would recommend having date met and date egg received as the same day. This is all common sense. An egg hatches at level 1, you got it from the daycare couple, it hatched on a route near the daycare centre. Put a date in that's actually, it exists. Don't put one 10 years in the future, because that might give you away a bit. Region, obvious. Make sure your language is in English, that's very important. It isn't a fateful encounter, so you can ignore that. Moves, obviously, put them in. Put in moves that it can actually get, otherwise you're going to also look like a bit of a knobhead. Nickname, if you're going to put it in, make sure you tick nickname, put your your OT in, common sense stuff really. Now what should have happened here is that if I go to box, yes, that's what you want. In order to get this to work, you really need to put the Pokemon in a box and not in the party Pokemon as seen there. Now you can put them there and then save it and load it back in the box, but if you try and load these ones onto your black or white file using the AR, you are likely going to get that crash based message I referred to earlier. So what I did is put them into box 8, just a random empty box that I had, loaded them up here. If you're interested, that's just a pass I was working on. Now all you have to do is export your code. Now do not click any of that, which you would normally do on previous games. What you need to do instead is go to box number 8 or whatever box you've picked and tick the ones you've changed. In my case, the first 6. Now save the XML, and XML is not a particularly good format, to be honest, but there's a way around this and it will make it a lot easier for you to insert your codes, and I will show you now. Once it loads up, let's speed it up a bit. Let's get to 3XML. Now we're going to wait for the Windows 7 search. There we go. Right, there's my file. If you click on it, it'll open up on a web browser, presumably usually Internet Explorer, and it'll look a mess. The way to get around this is to right click and open it with Notepad. Notepad, as you can see, puts it nice and tidily into a box. Now I've got white, and remember, USA, UK and all other European countries all have exactly the same net version of white and black, so you don't have to worry about those regions having specific foibles. They're all the same. Now all you need to do is copy this all here, Control C. Now we need our action replay. Let's just turn my DS on. There we go. Now let's put the cheat in. It's under white for me, obviously. We'll make a new cheat. What should we call it? We'll call it tutorial. I put titted. There you go. Paste it in. There we go. Push this over. The game will exist. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes. Bear in mind that white and black need the up-to-date software for action replays. You can get that off the website that this is affiliated with, don't worry. So we now wait for it. It's done. Now I'll take the USB out of the computer. Now obviously this is the bit you can't see because of screen capture, but all I'm doing is taking the AR out, putting the game in like so, then it'll come up. You put your cheats on. This isn't the particularly difficult bit. Click start, put your AR back in like so. Now it saves the changes. Right, put the white back in, and then we should be good to go. Now obviously I can't show you this bit, but I can definitely describe it to you, and there's a very important reason to keep listening, because I was there we go, as I can show you here. When it says export, it says press L and R in game to activate. I can tell you from experience that that doesn't work. You can do it all you want, but it doesn't physically change anything. Now I will just do it for sake of argument. I have clicked L and R down and nothing has happened. Now if we go to the Pokemon computer, because obviously we have not changed the party Pokemon in any way, because I did not click anything from down here, I shall go to box 8, and I can confirm that it looks absolutely no different. Now
what you need to do is, when you get to the computer, click it, obviously, go to Amanita, her PC, obviously, click on Move Pokemon, but as soon as you do it, hold down Start and select, and then if you get to box 8, you should see it nice and easily. Now, I will tell you for a fact that this is not a bulletproof method by any stretch of the imagination. You still may come up with an error message. All I can tell you is that for now, this is the only way that you're going to do it with ARs. Hopefully in the future, versions of the PokeSav and the AR method will infiltrate the game better. Obviously I can't guarantee that for you, but if you can't get this method to work, there is an alternative, and the way to do it I won't explain in detail, but basically what you have to do is upload your PKMN files up onto the internet, onto a specific website. It'll then give you detail on how to get that, so it'll tell you what DNS server you need, so you fill that in on your Wi-Fi connection on your DS. After that, all you have to do is log on to GTS on your DS and the Pokemon will come to you. Do bear in mind you can only do that method one at a time. Obviously that's going to be a giant pain in the arse, and it makes it a very slow method, which is why we can only hope that this method gets perfected over time. If you do get an error message, don't come and ask me how to do it. All you'll have to do is either learn the method I've briefly referred to, or alternatively just wait until the PokeSav sort of, sorts itself out. Now obviously it might never sort itself out. I am not a psychic, I can't tell you for a fact. This hopefully might stop people cheating, but I doubt that's going to happen because everyone nowadays is obsessed with ace cards. Nice. But other than that, all I can say is good luck with it. It is a temperamental bastard, to say the least. Other than that, all I can really say that I need to say on the end is about why would I, of all people, have researched into this. Well, I can tell you that if you are a breeder for IVs and then EV train, you'll know as well as anybody how big a pain in the arse it is to have to do that to 6 Pokemon and then realise that your team just doesn't work and you have to put all that progress in the bin, and that is a net waste of a ton of time. The ideal way to PokeSav is that you can use them to test teams to see if there's any potential. Then you can breed them if that's what you're inclined to do, and that's what I tend to do, because quite often people that cheat get found out, especially if you're a PBR player like I used to be, well, am to an extent still, but from the 4th gen you had to be very, very specific when it came to PokeSav for PBR as compared to the Gen 4 DS stuff. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. All I can say again is good luck. It's not bulletproof. Don't come to me if it doesn't work. But if it doesn't work, you might be worth trying to post on a plethora of forums, and if you find a proper solution to this, put it on the thread in the comments section. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has been useful for you.